Welcome to Take It from the Iron Woman. My name is Susanne Müller, your host and the Iron Woman. This podcast is about empowering yourself and others to make real changes in the world. You will hear from everyday, smart, sophisticated, hip people like you and me. Not everybody has to be an Iron Woman to impress the world. Together, we will learn from the sports and business leaders how you can become a more successful person as an entrepreneur or a leader. It's one step at a time, one day at a time. Take your steps now. Take your big steps now. Join me on this journey to success. Take it from the Iron Woman. We only have special guests, but today is a real treat. Julie Hughes has completed the JFK 50-miler. Whoever is a runner knows how hard it is to complete a marathon, and I want to say 50 miles is another level. Give us an intro of how that is and what's next for you, because that's also very impressive.
Oh, thank you, Suzanne. It's so good to be here. I have run several marathons, and I finally crossed that line at the Boston Marathon, I was like, okay, I want to do something more challenging. What's next? And I learned about the JFK 50 a while back, so I started to investigate that and look into it. Once I signed up and talked to my coach about it, he was like, yep, we can do this. This is doable. Let's go.
Kind of like a nice push. We can do this. Let's
Yes.
go.
Yes, because I was like, okay, this is when it is. Do I have enough time for training? Because as a marathon runner, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, 50 miles. Can I even do this?
Mm-hmm.
Do I have the time to train? And what does that look like? I wasn't sure how many hours am I going to be out there, and the nutrition piece, the mental piece. There's so many other things you need to train and focus on. So it was exciting and awesome that I had my coach in my corner to be like, oh yeah, you can do this.
And for the listeners, 50 miles is basically double the marathon, right? The marathon is 26 miles.
26.2. And I will say the JFK 50 is actually 50.2 miles. Don't forget, there's just a 0.2. You got to keep going.
Oh, makes a huge difference, the 0.2, I know. When you think, so I can do a marathon, but then you almost double it. I'm always thinking of mindset, right? Take It from the Iron Woman is about global business coaching with sports parallels. It's the mental approach. We put the shoes on, we get out there. Where do you start? Obviously, you have a base from the marathon running.
Yes, for sure. And it's funny because I did have the base for the physical training and the mental training, but going for this 50-mile race, the mental training really took like a front seat. That was what I really focused on and made sure I dedicated time to do. If this happens, then what are you going to do? Like, how would I respond when the wheels went off or when things went sideways? So just writing all of these things out in my journal, this is where like the writing piece came in for me, was sitting down every Saturday and writing out mantras, writing out affirmations, things I would say to keep myself going. Okay, if my stomach starts to cramp up, what am I going to do? Okay, I'll carry Pepto chewable tablets in my running vest, and just things to get yourself prepared in case this happens. You're like, okay, then this is what I'm going to do. And so you're calmer, you have a game plan. Things are going to happen that you don't plan for, but it really gives your mind, for me, it really just gave me the confidence that, okay, I can do this. If I can finish a marathon, if you can finish a marathon, you can go the next step and run 50 miles. Really, just being consistent with your training, being consistent with, okay, why am I going to do this? Why am I going to toe the line and run this race? And to really know that why, I think, is important. So that was another thing of writing that out.
What was the why for you?
The why for me was my husband was diagnosed with testicular cancer, recurrent testicular cancer in 2022. So my training had to take a back seat. But the writing, the running, that really got me through and sustained me. And when I was ready to train for this, I'm like, what? I am going to dedicate each mile to something that's been touched by cancer. So
Mm.
family, loved ones, friends, that really allowed me to focus on gratitude when I
Mm.
told the line, because I get to do this. I get to race. I get to lace my shoes up and run. And I guarantee that a lot of those folks that I dedicated a mile to would have liked to be right out there with
Mhm.
me. But it was great that I was able to carry them with me. They were in spirit running with me each mile. And that was my why. When I was getting really tired and not feeling good, I'm thinking, this is nothing to even what my husband went through, seeing him go through that chemo. It's awful to see someone go through that and be like, this pain that I'm feeling is temporary.
Mhm. Nothing to compare what they
Right.
have to go through.
I was
What?
really honored to have a name for each mile. My daughter and I, we took beads. So we had their names in beads and we stringed them into this big long necklace because we didn't put bracelets on. It would have been too many. We made this big long necklace and tied everyone's name together. And then I stuck it in my running vest. And so that way they were with me and I had each name memorized. When I was really struggling, I'm like, okay, I'm running this for Lonnie, or okay, I'm running this for Debbie, for Howard, for all these names. That was my why, and it kept me going. So that was why the title of the book was Miles of Meaning, because this was my meaning in each mile was.
And you mentioned like you were writing, journaling, and the listeners need to know. So, book is Miles of Meaning from Doubter to JFK 50 Miles Finisher. This
Yeah.
was the inspiration to write, and we know you have run to write. And we before we recorded, we concluded that running and writing is such solitary work in a way, but it's in a way the same.
That was such a gift that came out of such a horrible time. Was the fact that now, okay, I'm gonna run for these folks, but then to be able to hear their stories and then to write this book and share their names and the why
Yeah.
to.
And you were in contact with those people and they know that they were part of your running vest, so to speak.
Yes, yes, because I write on Substack, and so I reached out to my readers on Substack, and I just said, "Listen, if I'd really love to dedicate a mile to
Mm.
a loved one, maybe someone who's been touched by cancer." And so a lot of my readers reached out and said, "Hey, would you run for my brother? Would you run for my friend?" And they would share their name, and then that's how it got going.
And you said you remembered those people, so you knew that mile 1 was for this person, mile 2 was for that person? Is
Yes,
that
mile 1 was Nolga. Yes, oh gosh, mile 2, some of them I still have. Mile 3 was Howard, 21 was Debbie, and Amy was next, and another Amy. I tried to really work hard on memorizing their names, and it just helped. Another distraction,
Mhm.
another focus on instead of, "Oh gosh, I have 20 more miles to go." No, we're just doing 1 mile at a time, 1 mile at a time.
Wow.
And I got to have a run buddy each mile, which is really cool.
Invisible run body in a way.
Yeah.
What a cool story. When you get through those difficult miles, it's good to think about something else. And that's that mental challenge that you can trick your mind a little bit.
So when I went to the expo to pick up the bib number and the shirt, I met someone and they had a table out at the expo and they had their medals on the table and some were silver and some were gold. And I'm thinking, oh, what's the gold? Did you win? I'm just thinking you win the Olympics, right? It's just, oh no, you get a gold medal if you finish in the top 100. So top 100 male and female will get a gold medal, and then after that, they give out silver. And I thought, oh, that's so cool. This was the first time learning about that. So I was like, whatever. I just want to finish, right? I'm out there running and I'm like, oh gosh, this is getting hard. And it was just so awesome. That story popped into my
Mm.
mind. That conversation came up. And I'm like, okay, this woman ahead of me. Okay, she's number 100. So I started playing this game of, oh, let's go get her. She's number 100. And so I would just focus on her back and I'd catch up to her. We'd talk. Oh, you're looking stronger. Come go each other along. And then I would just, okay, let's look at the next. Oh, there's another girl up there. I'm going to go get her. She's number 100. And so I kept playing this game really all the way to the end because I
Mm.
needed, again, another way to trick my brain that we're not gonna focus on the discomfort. Yes, you have a blister and it's really hurting right now, but we're not gonna focus on that, you know? Your stomach is cramping. It's okay. You're fine. Let's focus on that runner. So it was really a great thing, and I'm so happy that I learned about that so then I could use that to my advantage out there.
And you have to share, you finished top 50 women of the race. So
Yes,
congratulations.
thank you. So I ended up getting a gold medal, which was really cool. It was
Oh.
really cool.
And now you mentioned the stomach might cramp. So tell us a little bit about nutrition. And we know, or at least I know from the Ironman, nutrition is the fourth factor that you have to focus on, or my stomach was rebellious. How is that in a 50 miler? And not so much only on the event itself, but also on the training.
A real important thing was, okay, start training with the nutrition that you are gonna start
Mhm.
exploring and seeing what works for you. So everybody is different, but the great news is our guts are so adaptable. When I was out there training, I was, "Okay, let's try gels. What gel tastes good? What opens easy?" These
Mm.
things play in. So figuring out what gels you're gonna have, maybe what real food are you gonna eat? So that was really something new for me as a marathon runner. I never ate real food.
No.
So this was exciting. This was like a fun part of it was, okay, I'm going to eat potato chips and I'm gonna try potatoes and I'm gonna try chicken broth, and no, I didn't try the chicken broth till the actual race, but there was all these different things. Pretzels, I started exploring with those as I was training leading up so I could
Mhm.
get my gut to adjust to this new carbs because you really need the carbs.
Yeah.
And it was nice. My coach was like, "Okay, the goal is let's try to get 50 to 60 grams an hour and gradually work up." So now as I'm training, I'm able to now take in 80 to 90 grams of carbs per hour. It will work, but it's just this consistent training,
Yeah.
which is really neat that our gut can adapt and do that. One thing that I really love is potatoes. I
Mm.
cannot get enough of potatoes now, which is really funny because, oh, they were just so wonderful and generous at these aid stations. One aid station had potatoes. They were boiled and they were in cubes, and then they put salt on it. It was just so
Oh,
generous,
like
and
five-star menu.
it was. They had so many options at these aid stations, fruits and sweet potatoes and
Mhm.
broth and peanut butter and jelly and cake. They just had anything you could think of. They had, like, bacon. It's just wild, all this stuff. So that
Yeah.
was really something new that I was like, "Oh my gosh, I never realized you really got to be able to eat. If you like to eat, you're gonna do well at any extra distance."
Oh, okay. So that's an incentive of going ultra marathon.
Yeah, you gotta be able to eat and keep going and running. So I'm working on that. It's been taking some time to figure out what works.
Yeah. So you say you're figuring out what is next. Obviously, I'm in awe. Finishing a 50 miler. I don't know how that works, but now you say you're going to do a 100 miler. How is that training going and what are you learning?
Oh my goodness. So it's gonna be April 25th. It's the CNO 100. Again, the biggest piece right now that I'm working on is the nutrition, the
Mhm.
fueling. How can I get my gut to adapt to 80 to 90 grams of carbs per hour? So that's really been the challenge right now is figuring out what my gut will tolerate so I'm not having any issues there. I'm still
Yeah.
working that out.
Yeah.
But this has really been helpful because, like I said, if I didn't start this with the 50, like, I'm
Mhm.
already on my way.
Yeah.
Understanding it's important you fuel and get the nutrition you need as you're out
Mm.
there, and don't wait. And especially with the hydration early and
Yes.
often, make sure you're getting in your fluids, make sure
Yeah.
you're getting in the nutrition. It's like this puzzle piece I'm trying to figure out for me. So that's what keeps it fun because I haven't mastered it at all. It's a cool challenge.
Yeah. And
And
how many miles do you train before you do the race? But what is the methodology of training?
what my coach is doing for me is we're going a lot by minutes, time on
Hmm.
feet. For example, we just started this April, we just started where Fridays I'm running in the morning about 2.5 to 3 hours. And then I'll do that later, 6 hours later, I'll do a 40 to 45 minute run. So we're doing this every other week to start loading in those 2 a days. During the week, it's maybe an hour to an hour and a half. But right now it's minutes. So you're going to be out
Hmm.
there for
Hmm.
3 hours. You're going to be out there for 3.5 hours. And then we'll see. I know that this next 6 week training block is going to start to really take off a little bit where I'll be running. We want to simulate some of the things that
Yes.
we'll be doing. I'll be running at night. He wants me to start, okay, we want you to run in the morning in the dark, but then also running in the dark at night. We will be doing that as well, or I will be doing that to do everything we can, get
Mhm.
in the nutrition, make sure you're figuring out your foot care, taking
Mhm.
care of blisters and things like that, what gear you're going to have and nutrition you're going to have. But then also, yes, you want to be able to be comfortable running at night in the dark and having your
Mhm.
lights, your headlamp, and all of that.
Yeah. And how is that in the training? Are you going alone at night? I'm more
Yeah, I
concerned about
am.
safety.
I do run in the areas I feel safe.
Mm.
Uh, yeah, so I am running alone much of the training.
How do you motivate yourself in the training? People think of that one day, but actually, the training is much harder leading up to that one day.
Yeah, this is the journey. So for me, again, it's okay, this training, what am I going to say when I'm uncomfortable? This is all the things I'm practicing. Even what you're going to tell yourself. You just hope in this training, you're giving yourself a really good chance that, yeah, you're going to be ready when you toe that line. You're going to finish, you're going to do
Mhm.
it.
It's a
So,
determination. It's in a way, as a runner, you start something, so you sign up for the race, you train, and you finish. So that's that mentality that I see over and over with runners. It's not that we're giving up. We're like, oh, no, I want to do this. I'm determined.
yes, that's right. You want
Mhm.
to do it for whatever everyone's reason is. Yeah, and it's really consistency, just
Mhm.
showing up. Even if your run didn't, well, maybe I didn't hit the pace, you still were out there showing up. That matters. The time on your feet and being out there because we're not going to have great days all the time. That's normal. So being able to still show up for yourself when you don't feel like it. And that's in writing too, I've noticed. I don't want to sit here and write. I don't feel like it, but
Yeah.
it's in doing it that you're like, "Oh, I'm so glad. Look at what I accomplished, or look at what I did." And
Mhm.
I know with running, I always feel better after. And so when mornings I get up and it's a blizzard out, snowing, and I'm like, "Nope, I'm gonna feel better after. I know I'm going to
Mhm.
just it's gonna make the day go so much better if I get out there now and do this."
Yeah. Wondering what affirmations do you have?
These are some that have worked for me, and I always tell people, "Try them on and see if they
Mhm.
resonate or help you." One that I like is courage over comfort. It's gonna be uncomfortable. So if we can just, yeah, we're gonna be uncomfortable, and it's okay. We can do it. Courage over
Mhm.
comfort. This one really helped me through the JFK 50. Remember, it comes in waves.
Oh.
It's so true. Like, you're gonna be hurting, it comes in waves, and then 10 minutes later, I'm like, "Oh, I feel great. This is awesome." And then 15 minutes later, "Oh my gosh, why am I doing this?" It's just it comes in waves, and so if you can just remind yourself that this part right now that you're feeling, it's not gonna last, just keep going. That was a huge one for me. Like,
Mm.
"Oh, yeah, my stomach hurts, but it comes in waves," and it would go away. So that, again, I wasn't freaking out because that
Ah.
not help, not help.
Oh.
So those are some big ones. Be brave and believe was another one for me. Just and sometimes just one words like focus. Stay focused. Maybe that's more for a marathon, but in certain parts, I'd be like losing my focus. So I think that's why that game really helped too. Okay, focus
Mhm.
on this girl ahead of you. Go get her. So staying focused.
I love that. I usually ask my guests, like, what do you do when you don't work? But for you, what do you do when you don't run? Is there anything else that you add onto your busy life? You're a
Yes.
rider, but you're a runner. Anything else?
Yeah, so I've actually combined them together, which has been awesome. We formed this Run to Right community online and in person. We meet once a week and we move our bodies for 30 minutes and then we gather in a coffee shop and we write for 30 minutes with
Oh.
I make homemade treats. I bring homemade treats and we have coffee and we write for 30 minutes and then the last part of it is just opening up if anyone wants to share their writing. We talk about
Mhm.
the writing that we wrote and just to build community in this corner that I'm in
Mhm.
near Syracuse. And then online, we also have a little
Yep.
time where we get to write together online for those who aren't local. So we
Mhm.
meet every Monday and we sit and gather and write. And then just being a mother, right? And a wife and adding those things in too.
You do so many things, and you're a mother and a wife, and so many things to take care of. But thank you so much, and we wish you only the best. Believe in yourself, focus, and we'll be with you on the 100 miles. So don't forget us.
Thank you so much, Suzanne. I
Thank
love
you.
that. I will need it.
Thank you. Wow, what are you taking away? Let's root for Julie. It's April 25th, where she has her big race. Take it from the Iron Woman. We have episodes every Monday. Come and join us, learn with others, learn from their passion. And also, Take It from the Iron Woman is the book Global Business Coaching with Sports Parallels. And also focus on Get Fit in 2026. Now is the time. We're less than 1,000 days away from the LA Olympics. Come and join us and support us. Thank you so much. Bye bye.